Hi, everyone. Thanks for checking out the daily update on Holy Week as we walk through the events of Jesus' life in this last week that leads us to the weekend of weekends, the weekend that changed the world and changes our lives. And it's changed my life. And I'm guessing for a lot of you, this weekend has made all the difference. And so we're on Thursday, but Thursday means that we're only one day away from our Good Friday service and only a few days away from Easter weekend. So it's time to get our invite on and to do everything we can to reach out to our friends and create Facebook watch parties and different ways that we can bring people. So far, for me, inviting my friends, I'm getting a lot of yeses this year. So yeah, let's just see what happens. It's the point of Easter is reaching people, helping people connect with God. That's why we exist at Journey. So for today, it's Thursday, and this Thursday has an ancient name called Maundy Thursday. There's a mandatory joke that needs to be shared about whether it's Monday or Thursday. No, it's Maundy Thursday. And here's the thing with Maundy Thursday. It comes from the Latin translation of the Bible, the Vulgate by St. Jerome in the 4th century, that when he translates Jesus in John 13, and when Jesus says, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another even as I have loved you." The word new commandment in Latin is mandatum novum. Well, whatever, right? If you speak Spanish, you already know what that is. Mande means like, well, if you need somebody to repeat themselves sometimes when they're speaking, you say mande, which literally means command me. The 10 commandments are los 10 mandamientos. So it's the new commandment. It's the day that Jesus gave us what he called the new commandment, which his disciple John later said, well, it's a new commandment, but it's really an ancient commandment. We talked about it on Tuesday when we talked about the Jesus Creed. So let me set the story for you just a little bit. They're in the upper room. It's the night before Jesus is going to be crucified. The Last Supper is about to be instituted, where he took the bread and the wine, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow in our Good Friday service. But then he did something that they really weren't expecting, and that's this. He went from person to person in that room and washed their feet. And that was the job of usually the youngest and lowest servant in your house. When somebody would come in from the outside, part of hospitality meant that you would wash your guests' feet, or not, actually, you would never do it. Your servant would have their feet washed. And they were at somebody else's house. They were in a borrowed room, and so nobody had washed anybody's feet. Jesus took his outer robe off and put a towel around his waist and went from person to person and washed their feet. And the lesson, the moral of the story, Jesus just tells them flat out, just like I did, you guys should be doing that. Maybe not literally and washing feet, maybe literally washing feet. But Jesus says the main point is this: for this community that I'm making, for this thing that I'm going to call eventually ecclesia, the church, for this, it's about loving one another as I have loved you. And interestingly enough, I think it's interesting anyways, when you think, well, yeah, okay, I believe that. How do I see more love in my life? How can I do that? There's a key to that, and it comes when Jesus rolls up on Peter, and it's Peter's turn to get his feet washed. And Peter says, because Jesus is taking on the role of a servant, a lowly servant, he goes, oh, no. And he goes, never are you going to wash my feet. And Jesus says, Peter, if you don't let me wash your feet, then I guess you're not in. We're going to have to ask you to leave, maybe. And Peter goes, okay. In typical Petrian fashion, Peter goes, all right, then give me a whole bath. And Jesus goes, calm down, dude. We're just doing feet here. And there's an insight there. where how we grow in love is to remember how much Jesus loves us. How we learn to serve is we remember that Jesus served us. And that's what tomorrow night's going to be all about, is remembering all that Jesus did for us. Because when we remember and live in that, man, our love grows. Our desire to serve grows. So I can't wait for us to be together tomorrow night in our Good Friday service. It's going to be fantastic.